What's up, Grayson Report? Happy Thursday. How's everyone doing? What is up? I know I had comments earlier, and I noticed like there was no comments. So, Julissa, what is up? Tammy, Daniel, how's everyone doing? I think I saw Matthew there earlier. Nerd Report, Windy Corn. I think I saw earlier. The what you call it? The comments disappeared. Because I was like, wait a minute, I had comments. How's everyone doing and how's your week going so far? Matthew, what's up? While we wait for people to trickle in. And I just ate and I feel like I'm in a food coma now. And I'm like, ugh. But the food was good. Has anyone, while we're waiting for people to trickle in, has anyone watched anything interesting? Brandon, what is up? Dusty, how's it going? Julissa goes, just caught up on Yellowstone. I haven't really watched anything. I know last stream, I spoke about, I did get a chance to see Beetlejuice, and the Christopher Reeve story, which is now on Max. I still have a list that's ever growing. My shirt, in fact, is one of the movies that I want to rewatch because American Werewolf in London was one. As a kid, I didn't care for too much, but I think I have a better awareness of I don't know, because I wasn't a fan of The Evil Dead and now I am. So I have a feeling that I'm gonna be a fan of American Werewolf in London. I was more of a Halloween fan when I was a kid. But there's also Alien Romulus, which is on my list. Speak No Evil, which is now on, I think it's on Paramount Plus or Peacock, one of the two. I can't even remember. Is out too as well. It's that James McAvoy movie. It was a Dutch film. It's kind of like a remake. While we wait for Brandon, thank you for that super sticker of the fitness pair. Hearts for Brandon. Thank you, Brandon. I appreciate that. Thank you for the support. I know I spoke about in a previous stream before we get into the nitty gritty. And while we wait a few more minutes for people to trickle in, I did speak about that they are going to be doing a American Psycho adaptation, and I don't know how I feel about that. I think the rest of the world is kind of on me that we don't need any more remakes. There's no originality. It seems like nowadays, I get it. They want to bring the movies from the 90s, or from like the early movies, I should say, because they're not just remaking movies from the 90s, but they want to make but they want to take those movies and bring it to this generation. But I feel like they should not remake movies. I'm looking for something that's more original. Like, where's the originality? Like, where is the ideas? Like, I mean, it's like you're just remaking what was already made. And I feel like Christian Bale did an amazing job as Patrick Bateman. I don't think anyone else needs to replace him, but they did find their actor Austin Butler. I believe he played Elvis. Will play Patrick Bateman in the new American Psycho adaptation. And if you don't know who he is, this is what he was in that weird Elvis I call it a weird Elvis because I felt like it was like I watched like the beginning of it and I was like, this is just weird for me at least. Austin Butler has joined the cast of Luca Guadagnino adaptations of Bret Easton's novel American Psycho for Lionsgate. He was portrayed he will portray Patrick Bateman, the lead character in the novel. That role was made famous by Christian Bale in the 2000 original. I don't think anyone can replace Bale. He did an amazing job. I remember seeing that in the theater. It was when I was obsessed with going to the theater, and I would go every week. And I remember I was in the front row. Bale's film was more of a dark satire. His Bateman was a corporate yuppie who had a penchant for killing people and a dog who offended him. Guadagnino's version might be more erotic since he has an affinity for that kind of storyline. His films include Call Me by Your Name, Challengers, and Queer, starring Daniel Craig. The latter two films has been nominated for a Golden Globe this year. Butler could be an excellent casting choice depending on how Guadagnino, I hope I'm probably butchering his name, frames his story. Much like a young Johnny Depp in the 80s and 90s, Butler has a diverse range. He started as a Disney kid acting in shows such as Hannah Montana and Zoe 101, then moved to feature films starting with Aliens in the Attic. Since then, he's played Elvis in Baz Luhrmann's biopic of the rock star, and more recently, a Moody Motorcycle gang member in the Bike Riders. As of this writing, Butler is the only actor cast in Guadagnino's project. I don't know about you guys. How do you feel? If you guys are familiar with American Psycho, how do you feel about them making a remake in all intents and purposes? And Heather Salvatore, thank you for that super sticker. Hearts for Heather Salvatore. Thank you for the support. And I believe Heather Salvatore, I believe it's Capone and Mocha, if I'm not mistaken. I hope they're watching too. Brandon goes, Austin Butler is a good actor. He hasn't reached his full potential yet. No, I think he's a great actor. I just feel like they shouldn't remake it. You know what I mean? That's my thing. Like I want to see something. I mean, don't get me wrong. I've seen some reimagining, remakings that weren't bad at all. Like I kind of enjoyed them, or prequels. I've seen prequels of like The Omen, for example, and I enjoyed it. So I'm open to it. I just feel like this day and age, it seems like there's way too many remakes, and it's like, I mean, like the list goes on. Like they plan on remaking Blair Witch Project. They plan on. It's like, no, why? Like I want to see something different. I mean, I'm all hyped for the Pooniverse with the Pooh, Blood, and Honey, even though the execution of the first film wasn't that great. But I'm all out for that idea because that's something different. You know what I mean? Like not something I've seen before. Like I want to see something different. So how do you guys feel about that? Do you guys mind remakes, or are you looking for something um uh looking for something different like me? Brandon is asking, are you excited for Nosferatu? I am actually. I did not see the original. So, I think that's one of those films that I am excited for. I haven't seen much about it. Like I kind of been not avoiding it, but I haven't really paid much attention to it cuz sometimes I just don't want to be spoiled when it comes to movies. But I am excited for that. I keep forgetting that's coming out this month on Christmas. Julissa new ideas are always great. Tired of remakes, just like me. I'm tired of remakes. I mean, I maybe remaking a silent film maybe is a little different because now with the technology, maybe you can make, add a storyline. And well, I mean, the silent film still had a storyline, even though yeah. So I I guess it just depends, but I feel like remaking something that was filmed in the 2000s or even in the 90s or 80s, I feel like why? Leave them in that they're classic for a reason, you know what I mean? We all grew up on them. Like leave them that way. Don't ruin them for us. Daniel goes remixes for me. Also, Squid Games 2 is coming out on Netflix after. I keep forgetting it's coming out already. Cuz this year has gone by so quickly. It's the day after Christmas on the 26th. All right, one more story before we get into the main topic. The woman who married a ghost. And if you guys are new to my channel, yes, there is a woman that married a ghost. There's two women, in fact, that married a ghost. This particular woman married a soldier from a Victorian soldier, I believe, named Eduardo. Um Married him, posted the marriage ceremony on her Instagram. Um then divorced her because she claimed that he cheated on her with Marilyn Monroe. Now she says she has a gift from her experiences and she's doing like paranormal things. I guess she's also an artist. Um, which I feel like in my opinion, I feel like I still don't understand why women would do that. Why would you marry a ghost? But to each his own. I feel like it's more for attention because she's trying to promote her brand, but that is just me. She is back in the news. Um, and Lisa Boo, what is up? Heather, whatever, how's it going? Lisa Boo goes, she wants a silent partner. I don't know. Whatever it may be, I don't know. So here we've got Brocard. I think if you go to her Instagram, she probably still has her marriage posted there. And she also was on Yes to the Dress. There's an episode with her on Yes to the Dress. I still think it's for attention. I like kind of what Lisa Boo said. She wants the silent partner that doesn't say anything. The way she explains her relationship is mind-boggling. She go She's like, "Well, one day he just stopped coming around and he wouldn't come around for 2 days." I'm like, "Woman, he's a ghost. What do you expect?" He started smelling like perfume, or I don't know what she went off on, but he's a ghost. What do you expect? Julianne, what is up? I'd rather marry a ghost than my estranged husband. I mean, some people prefer dealing with ghosts than actual people. You know what I mean? Because sometimes people can be evil. There are people out there that can be evil. So sometimes I get it, Julie. I get it. Or hard to get along with. Not just evil, but hard to get along with. But I get it. I get it. Because sometimes I don't want to deal with people. So, horror influencer who married a spirit says Santa Claus is a ghost. I was like, okay. A horror influencer, because now she's a horror influencer, who once married a spirit has claimed that Father Christmas is a ghost. Spooky rock singer Brocard says she famously wed, then split from the spirit of a Victorian soldier, and she is now a paranormal investigator. The gothic singer, I think also too, there was a story about her hanging out with some witches or something like that to protect her from the spirits or something like that. Don't quote me. Chris, how's it going? The Gothic singer says she believes Santa is a likely to be a ghost who has shapeshifted into a red suit on Christmas Eve. Brocard says her ex Eduardo came alive at Christmas and would dress up as Santa Claus. How the hell do you know that your ex was a ghost? I'm sorry. How in the F did you know that your ghost husband dressed up as Santa Claus? How? I mean, I didn't read anywhere where she said she had a gift, and I do believe people do have a gift. There's just some people I feel like are taking advantage of people and don't have the gift. And he even floated down the chimney. She reckons other spirits might also do the same. She claims they are prone to getting into the festive spirit and attracted to the magic of Christmas. Brocard from Oxford says, when people think they see Santa, they might be looking at a cheeky ghost. She says if people encounter the vision of Father Christmas coming down the chimney, it could actually be the apparition of a ghost getting into the festive spirit. Like, what ghost is getting into the festive spirit? Like, honestly, the only thing I see an actual spirit, okay, if we're talking about spirit, the only thing I could see an actual spirit getting into the festive spirit is if that was what they were living at the time that they had passed. That I can find plausible. I can find that plausible. I don't know about them celebrating Christmas because I feel like if you die and go into the afterlife, because I know some people don't believe that there is an afterlife and some people do. I don't think you know what time is when that happens. You know what I mean? So you're not going to know what time of year it is. I don't know if it's just me. I feel like you're it's a void of time when you go to the afterlife, when it's your time to go. I don't feel like you know what day it is, what time it is, etc., etc. Um so I find that a little, yeah. She said, fundamentally, ghosts and Father Christmas have a lot in common. Most people don't believe they exist. It's important to understand that ghosts can often sense the energy of the holidays, and some get excited as we do. If you consider that some ghosts don't even realize that they are dead, they sometimes start to celebrate the holidays as they did when they were living. Here's a clip of her actual wedding. Which I think I did mention before. I think it's still up on her Instagram. Many people believe that ghosts have the ability to shapeshift into various different disguises. This can often have terrifying implications and can be confusing. When I hear about ghosts mimicking things, it's usually demonic. Is what I've seen. I don't anything mimicking anything is not usually a good spirit. During the holidays when emotions are high, spirits are attracted to these emotions and some can present themselves as Father Christmas. She added, when some people are adamant that they've seen Santa Claus, what they could have actually encountered is a shape-shifting ghost. I understand that Father Christmas is largely accepted as being fictional, but in spirit he could be more real than any of us could imagine. During my Christmas with Eduardo, he came oh, wait a minute, it's like redoing the same thing again. Yahoo News, you're copying your whole thing. On Christmas Eve, I know I said this before, he shapeshifted and floated down the chimney. He must have remembered the Christmas tradition from when he was living. Brocard regularly updates her website, brocard.com, with new paranormal explorations and ghost stories. Her Christmas single, Waiting for January, that tackles the mixed emotions of the holiday, is currently available for anyone that's interested. I know I'm not. She is a horror influencer and has traveled the world documenting her stay in some of the world's most haunted locations. No. I don't think it's a ghost acting like Santa Claus. What about you guys? Chris Barber goes, I just hope the meds work. Matthew goes, Bobby Mackey's is torn down now. I heard that, but I didn't know when they were going to tear it down. Chris, I am so sorry to hear. Went to the vet today and Gilligan has fluid around his heart. Oh, I am so sorry to hear that, Chris. I hope he gets better. Dusty goes, do you believe that time even exists? That is a good question. Like, we only have time because people tell us that we have time. That is a good question, Dusty. I mean, if you really want to deep dive into everything, you could seriously go, but yeah, is that time really real? Or is it because that's what we've been accustomed to? That's a great question, Dusty. Matthew goes, they are looking for the real Santa's resting place, one they believe is his, but he was stolen from it centuries ago and put at other places. Brandon goes, an apparition is cheap come Christmas time, no need for gifts. Send some positive vibes and hearts, the praying symbol, to Chris toward his puppy Gilligan for a speedy recovery. Julissa goes, well, the earth does rotate. Definitely time changes. True. Wendy goes, time is only here, I believe. Chronos, father time. Yes. Matthew goes, the one you are with is your gift. True. Obviously, there. What Julissa says, it's true because there was sundials. Because way back in the day, they used sundials to tell the time. But that is still a good question, though, Dusty. One last thing. I don't know if you guys follow Walmart. I noticed last year they had Snoop on the stoop. You know how they have Elf on the shelf, right? So there's Krampus on the mantle, which I have behind me. I have the box behind me. It's somewhere. Which I bought. I saw it one year and then it sold out. So the next year, as soon as I saw it, I bought it. I think that is way better, cooler than Elf on the Shelf. Keeping it spooky, you know what I mean? Then last year I saw Walmart came out with Snoop on the stoop, and I was like, "What?" I saw the commercial, and I was like, "Yes, it's real. It's not fake." So this year I happened to be browsing, right? And of course Snoop on the stoop popped up. I saw Martha. I was like, "What?" They have, I forgot what they call it. I don't know. It's Martha on the mantle, I think is what they call it. I am not kidding you. It's Martha Stewart or Martha on the mantle. And I was like, what the hell? Who's going to buy Martha on the mantle? Rooster, how's it going? And I thought of buying it. I wanted to buy Snoop. I just never did. Just because it's hilarious. And I thought of buying Martha on the mantle because it's hilarious. I'm pretty sure they're gonna have a crap load after Christmas sitting on the shelf. I don't know if anyone would buy Martha on the mantle. Honestly, Snoop I see, maybe, but Martha on the mantle, and she comes with. Hold on, I have a picture. She comes with she she comes with like gifts, like a Christmas wreath, a bottle of wine. I don't know what the heck that is. And a flirt what do you call it? Like a furry scarf? I, I was like, what am I seeing? Heather Salvatore goes, she goes with Snoop and a lighter. Julissa goes, now we need to get Snoop and Martha and place them together. Exactly, because that would be crazy. Heather, whatever's like Martha, no, Snoop, okay. That's what I was saying. Snoop, yeah, okay. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I mean, why not? It's hilarious. Martha? Who watches Martha Stewart? Is she even still on TV? NJS55, how's it going? Dusty goes, to go back with the time thing, Einstein didn't believe in time. Chris Barber said it would be cuter with prison gear on. Oh my God, Chris. She probably would have been all down for it too. She'd be like, yeah, put a jumper suit on me. And Dusty goes, Snoop should come with a plant. Julissa goes, did you say they're at Walmart? I don't have one close to me, but I'll go look for them after Christmas. Yes, they are at Walmart. I don't know how many they get shipment wise, but I doubt Martha on the Mantle is going to sell. Maybe a few people might get her. I don't know, just to do something funny. But Heather Salvatore is going tomorrow. Also, too, I want to shout out Heather, whatever, for your PayPal. And also, thanks again, Heather Salvatore, for your PayPal as well. She was saying, yes, it's Capone and Mocha, and you're better than my clients that see them every 4 to 6 weeks. And she is also sick of remakes and loves the Wolfpack. Hearts for the two Heathers. Thank you, ladies. I appreciate it. All right, guys, I'm sure y'all heard about the UFOs, aka drones, flying over New Jersey. I did see video. These drones were huge. Um, let me click off that ad because ads get annoying. I did see the drones. To me, they look like military style like drones. Some people think they may be UFO drones, but I honestly don't think they are. I do wonder where who is manning these drones. But I get it with the hype with UFOs because a lot of us want to believe, you know what I mean? We want to believe. We want to see that piece of evidence that will put a concrete thought in our head that aliens do exist and they are coming to the planet Earth. I do believe on life on other planets. It's just for me it's a little more skeptical when it comes to abductions and them being among us kind of thing, but I do find it plausible. I do find it believable that the abductions, if they are true, because we are a species that they don't know, and we do the same thing when we find a species we don't know, we examine them. It does seem like something out of a horror movie, though. A lot of the times when I do hear about an abduction story or watch a TV program about it, um, but I do find the idea plausible. It's just I'm always going to be 50-50 when it comes to it. And also a lot of the videos, and it goes with paranormal too as well, with the videos. Because of our technology, it's so easy to add something, to photoshop something, to add something to a picture. Even you nowadays, just using our cell phones, you can edit and add things to video or to a picture. So it makes it's very hard for me to believe. And I feel sorry for those people that do actually catch something and they want to show, like, hey, look at what I caught. Like, what do you guys think? And there's people like, oh, it's fake. Oh, it's Photoshop. But it's just the sign of the times. I think there's a lot of people that do add things to their video because they want to be TikTok famous or want to get the attention or whatnot. But and I do feel for those people that um actually do find legit evidence, and we're all questioning it. And it's kind of sad, but it is the sign of the times, unfortunately. Dusty goes, they need to explain it. One theory is that the military is testing these drones. Heather Salvatore is going, how do drones change time on clocks? We have a drone. Can I fix all the ones in the house and the car? Wendy goes, they're awfully loud to be a real UFO. A few clips from the web are pretty interesting though. I'm with you on Dusty. I'm with you. I'm kind of on the lines with Dusty that's saying that it's a military drone, because that's what it actually looked like to me. Um, but in this article that I did find from the Daily Mail, it was saying that, give me a second. I'm trying to share the screen and it was like it went into something else. It's saying mysterious drones are changing time on clocks in New Jersey as locals fear they're being targeted by UFOs. As waves of loud car-sized mystery drones, I mean, they looked huge. I don't know about car size, but they looked huge. Continue to buzz over New Jersey. One family reported that the craft changed time on their car's clock. The family of Morris County locals said they were following one of these seemingly terrestrial UFOs in their vehicle, only to experience the odd effect on their car's electronics as the unexplained craft hovered above them. And I get why they would think that it's a UFO, because on a lot of things, even the X-Files, a lot of the episodes or even TV programs I've watched, when they do a show or a movie about UFOs, they usually show that electronics go berserk. Like your car shuts off, the radio starts tuning into different channels. So I get why, if that would happen, somebody would automatically go, "Oh my god, it's a UFO." But I did notice too, when I was watching one of the videos, it was like on I forgot what it's YouTube, but it was like a news program. They had said that these UFOs had blinking lights like underneath them. Like, you know how like airplane has a blinking light on it? So that's what they were kind of comparing it to. The clock in their car changed time, according to the Fox News reporter who spoke to the unnamed family. They say the clock went back to normal after they drove off. While local law enforcement in Morris County have issued a statement asserting that there is no known threat to public safety at this time, the Federal Aviation Administration, FAA, has issued a ban on drone flights over sensitive areas in the state. I think that's true with many states. I know here in California, there are certain areas where you can't fly a drone. Um, I think there's like a state park, um, in Orange County. I think there was one that I went to, I think in Orange County, that said that you can't fly drones over here. So I do know there's a lot of places where they don't allow you to fly drones over. Last Tuesday, the FBI described the sighting as only possible drones and a possible fixed wing aircraft in its efforts to get to the bottom of the night's flights. But residents within the 8 and counting New Jersey counties where the strange craft have been sighted are also taking matters into their own hands, with over 17,000 trading notes on the sightings in a dedicated Facebook group. One local software engineer who specializes in radio communications believes the temporary altercation of the car's clock is a clue to the origin of these mystery drones. Many newer cars gets their clock time from GPS satellites, since that's one of the most accurate time signals you're going to get in a vehicle. The engineer Rich Dunajewski posted to the Facebook group. If these are using GPS jamming or spoofing, Dunajewski, I apologize for butchering your last name, then it's plausible the car would follow the signal and change the clock to match whatever signal is coming from the drone or the plane. If you guys haven't seen those drones, and I'm pretty sure most of you have, here's kind of a picture of one of them. It is huge, and I do feel like it's military. That, like I said earlier, my first thought was that's a military drone, because the military has a drone that kind of looks like a mini airplane, which is what that kind of looks like. So don't think aliens, the engineer continued. Think foreign actors using electronic warfare methods. Dunajewski noted that GPS spoofing on board these mysterious aircraft would also explain the car clock's return to normal time. Once you're out of range of the spoofed GPS signal, the clock will acquire the real GPS signal with the correct time, he said in his Facebook post. While some locals are not buying it, with one saying, "We need to accept that these are not just drones, these are UFO UAPs." Other experts did agree with Dunajewski. A contractor with the FAA Office of Communications, David Lombardo, co-signed the radar jamming or GPS spoofing theory, writing, it's very likely that these drones have some sort of electronic interference capabilities. While Lombardo said he did not believe that the FBI wouldn't get involved if a bunch of drones were just pissing people off, the FAA contractor also confessed that he currently saw no evidence actual law breaking yet. Nothing that these drones have done appear to be criminal or really against my rules so far as I know. I mean, they're being weird. There's no crime in being weird. But hey, the fact is, though, what are they doing in the air? So to me, it's not just them being weird, it's their appearance. Like, why are they there? Who are they from? I would be questioning that. I mean, obviously it's nothing criminal, but I would be like, who's manning these drones and where are they coming from? You know what I mean? Is it from another country? Or is it, you know what I mean? That's where my thoughts went. Dusty goes, they could cause dangerous problems with air travel. Yes. Robot 1138, how's it going? But retired police Lieutenant Tim McMillan argued that the drones fit a pattern of Russian psychological warfare operations internationally. Lieutenant McMillan reported that both the mysterious drone flights over New Jersey mirror a 2022 incident in which drones flew over sensitive sites in Sweden, just as the European nations was considering joining NATO. This recent drone wave is likely in response to the West green-lighting Ukraine to use ATACMS inside Russia, the retired police investigator posted to X. Last month, the Biden White House granted the Ukrainian military permission to unleash American-made Army tactical missile systems, which is what ATACMS stands for, across the Russian border, allowing them to strike military targets up to a range of 186 miles. Neither Moscow nor local amateur drone pilots nor any other actors, terrestrial or extraterrestrial, has claimed credit for the unusual flights over New Jersey. However, it's proven to be a covert invasion of sort. It would be the first in this part of the Garden State since British troops sparred with American colonists over 240 years ago. I grew up in Morris County, one local resident posted on X, and this is the most exciting event since the Revolutionary War. Anyone wonder why New Jersey? Another resident asked. That in itself is a mystery. Why not another state? The anonymous family who reported their car clock's reaction to the eerie and unexplained aircraft were just some of the new witnesses to speak to Fox News about the ongoing wave of UFO sightings. One eyewitness told the network that they saw a parade of the drones, some as big as compact cars, roaring over the sky in procession. The drones just keep coming, another witness says, one after another. While the FAA has taken the most direct action suggesting malicious intent, prohibiting drone flights over Trump's golf club until last Friday and above Picatinny Arsenal until December 26. Other officials have been more cautious in their language. Law enforcement officials in Morris and Somerset counties issued a joint statement describing the extent of their collaboration on the ongoing investigation. I mean, obviously, they're going to say something like they're doing something about it, because if they don't, then you're going to have a lot of enraged residents. And there's going to be a lot of people going like, what are you guys doing about it? Like, you know what I mean? So the subject county prosecutors, sheriffs, and emergency management offices are respective municipal police departments working in close cooperation with the FBI in Newark, the New Jersey State Police, and the New Jersey Office of Homeland Security and Preparedness seek to reassure the public that we will continue to monitor and investigate their own activity, the two county sheriff offices said. Post to social media sites X, New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy echoed similar words to calm the public. I convened a briefing with Biden's Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, senior officials from the Department of Homeland Security, and members of our congressional delegation to discuss reported drone activity over the part of North and Central New Jersey. There's no known threat to the public at this time, the governor said. Nevertheless, New Jersey residents have been encouraged to report any sightings, videos, or photos they may have of the UFO drone flights to the FBI, and they have left the number if any of you have seen it and are in that area. I honestly, I get it. It's not a threat, but it's not knowing where it's coming from is where I feel like is a threat. I mean, obviously they are monitoring it, but I feel like there should be more to it. Because, like, what are these? Where are they coming from? Who is manning these? Could it be from another country that's spying on us? You know what I mean? It could be a number of things. Julissa goes, after 9/11, you'd think our government would be vigilant about our airspace. Exactly. That's what I'm thinking. They're all like nonchalant about it. I feel like it's more. There's more to it than they're like, oh yeah, we're monitoring it. And then you got the FAA person going, oh, I don't see it as a threat at all. And I'm like, dude, you don't know what the F it is. That's a threat in itself. Daniel goes after the balloonist. You think we'd have our guys covered by now? Heather, whatever goes, what do they call a threat? That's a good question. Like, what's their definition of a threat? Very true. Because their threat, like my definition of threat could be completely different. Like I could be up here, or they could be down here. Heather Salvatore goes, PBS aerial view of America. There are rules for drones. Yes, there are FAA regulations for drones. You can't just fly. There's certain drones where you have to have a license to fly them. Because I was looking into drones at one point. I can't fly one with the dam, but I was looking into them. There are certain ones where you do need a license, and there are specific areas, like I had said earlier, that you can't fly them. So you have to know, and that too, you can't be. There's a certain height you have to be. There's a number of rules, believe it or not, and they're taking this as it's like nonchalant, like, oh yeah, we're doing something about it. We're monitoring it. We're cooperating with the other agencies. I'm like, dude, there's more. Like, who's banning it? Who's like, where are they coming from? Dusty goes, if we don't know where they are from, they may be a threat. That is what I'm thinking. To me personally, if I don't know where they're coming from or who is manning them, if they knew it was like the military testing drones, like our military, then obviously, yeah, that wouldn't be a threat. But if you don't know who's manning these, it's definitely a threat. Like I said, it could be, I don't know why New Jersey, but it could be like a Russian manned drone or something like that. You never know. I don't know what the distance of those drones are. But you never know. Matthew goes, you can't shoot them down and the owner could get you legally for damaging it. Heather Salvatore goes, Tom has one that we love. It is my favorite. I mean, I thought, because when I was looking at them, I was thinking, oh, like, let me get like a a cheap one just to learn how to fly it, because I cannot fly one. They look easy to fly, but no, it takes coordination to fly them. But it makes no sense, because like there are all these regulations, but yet they're like, oh, I don't, they're not doing anything criminally. It's like, I feel like if it was me flying that drone, they would have fined me already up the Yahoo. Heather Salvatore goes, no, the $600 one is the best. My thing is, though, I don't want to spend $600 on a drone and then I break it. If I get a cheap one to learn how to fly and it breaks, I'm not going to care too much. I mean, I will care, but it's not going to hurt as much as a $600 one. As always, guys, I forgot. It's probably super easy because couldn't think of a spot. But as always, guys, Skeleduck is hidden in my background. If you guys don't know who Skeleduck is or what I'm talking about, he is pictured in the upper left-hand corner. I had to think about that for a second. It might be your upper right-hand corner because I think we're flipped. That is what he looks like. I do hide him every stream. Usually in a better place than today, but I was kind of in a hurry. But just remind me and I will reveal his location at the end of the stream. Oh yeah, or Daniel, or lose it. Because that's what happened to Daniel. I forget. I was thinking that too. You could lose it. There was also, since we're on the subject of UFOs, I am not too familiar with the site Cornwall Live. But UFO over Cornwall, filmed by stargazer from her balcony in Newquay. A stargazer in Cornwall caught sight of more than she expected as a mysterious phenomenon appeared in the distant night sky. Intrigued, Monique Lyle grabbed her phone and started filming what looked like something out of a science fiction movie from the balcony of her Newquay flat, I guess is how you pronounce it. Monique, who runs a radio station, Funky Media Radio, said she was completely taken aback as she watched the unidentified flying object for several minutes before it vanished. She witnessed it at about 6:30 p.m. on Monday night, December 9th. The 41-year-old Cornwall Live told Cornwall Live, when I first saw the object, I was completely taken aback. I often stargaze, so I'm familiar with the night sky, and I knew immediately that this wasn't a star or any unusual phenomenon like an aircraft. It was bright, changing colors, and seemed unusually close to town. It felt surreal and intriguing, almost like something out of a science fiction movie. I was in the middle of a live broadcast for my radio station, Funky Media Radio. That's actually kind of a cool name. It was a typical evening for me until I caught a glimpse of the object from the corner of my eye. I believe this is her video, but I'll enlarge it in a second. Its movement and brightness instantly drew my attention, so I quickly grabbed my phone to take a photo and start filming. I was positioned on higher ground in Newquay for my apartment building balcony, which gave me a clear and uninterrupted view of the sky. The elevation made it easier to observe the object closely before it vanished after about 5 minutes. After she shared the curious clip on Facebook, she received dozens of reactions, a few claiming it was a helicopter, but she wasn't so sure, saying it didn't seem like the case because of the colors it was flashing and how it disappeared being in the same spot. However, she was a bit bemused by the suggestion the craft had been attracted by the most talented underground DJ sounds on the broadcast airways from her DJs. Monique added, ready to rip apart for post I was well ready to be ripped apart for posting it, but it was definitely worth the post to see if anyone else saw it too and what it could be. I think okay, where is her video? Oh, it's down. What the heck? It's weird. Hold on, let me wait for
human machine interface and human
no sound. Give me a second, guys. This thing is acting weird. No, I don't want human machine. I wanted to show you the video, but it's not showing anything. All right, guys. Well, I was going to show you that video, but let me reload it and see if it'll come back. It's like video loading. Hug, what is up? How's it going? It looks like the universe does not want you guys to see this video. Let me see if it loads. If it loads, then I'll come back to it. But if it doesn't, I'm sorry, guys. It doesn't want to load. It's being pesky. Oh, it loaded the next video over. Juliet goes, then it must be real. I also have if it loads, I'll come back to it, but it's still I redid it, but it's still being pesky. I also saw this on Coast to Coast. A pair of wondrous webcam videos from Mexico show a glowing triangular UFO flying near a volcano that may believe to be a secret alien base. I don't think it's a secret alien base. The remarkable scene was reportedly spotted last week on a pair of live streams watching over the sizable Popocatépetl volcano. I do apologize. I do butcher a lot of names here. And the first piece of footage featured above, a glowing triangular object can be seen ascending through the sky, seemingly from behind the site's smoldering peak. The second clip, captured simultaneously from a different webcam watching the volcano, provides another look at the mysterious anomaly as it teaks to the sky. While the object appeared to be moving quickly in the videos, it should be noted that its ascent actually took several minutes, with the footage being sped up to convey the complete sighting. Due to the sheer number of anomalies that have been seen seemingly flying into, out of, or over and around Popocatépetl, many UFO enthusiasts have suggested that it is an important location to otherworldly beings, perhaps even a secret base. This particular sighting of a triangular anomaly will undoubtedly strengthen those suspicions. That said, more skeptical viewers will likely argue that the UFO was simply a plane that appeared alien due to the perspective of the webcams. What do you make of the latest sightings from Papakate Pet? I think Papakate Pet. Weigh in with your thoughts. This is the video. And it's from it's a volcano in Mexico. And you do see like a triangular shape coming up. I don't know, for some odd reason. That does not, I don't know. To me, that does not, I mean, I guess they're saying they sped up the film, but, or the video, but that does not, I don't know. To me, that does not, it looks like it's added in to me. I don't know about you guys. Heather Salvatore goes, where were you trying to share me a video? Wendy Corn goes, I love Coast to Coast. Heather Whatever goes, Coast to Coast is good. Daniel goes, I'm trying to send a pic to my a pic on text to my girlfriend, but it's not working here too. Heather Whatever goes, George now art died. But that to me looks more I don't know, it looks like they added the triangular shape. Like they were filming the volcano, but it looks like they added, I don't know, because that looks, the glowing triangular UFO looks a lot brighter than the actual UFO. I don't know about you guys, but that's kind of how it looks like to me. Dusty goes, it looks like a satellite. Windy Corn goes, a meteor shower. Heather Salvatore goes, okay, we'll try sending it. Try sending it to my email. Heather Whatever doesn't know. I mean, I guess it's the same. For me, it kind of looked brighter. I don't know. I don't know what to think of this. Wendy Corn goes, it's causing interference. It could be. But at the same time, to me, it kind of looked like how right there, like how it's brighter than everything else. Like to me, I don't know. It just, I want to believe. Don't get me wrong, I want to believe, but that I don't know. Heather Whatever goes, I'll watch again later. I had dog interference here. There's also been mysterious lights moving at extreme speeds across Oregon skies as well. At least 4 commercial pilots encountered mysterious lights over the weekend. Researchers theorize they could be flares from numerous Starlink satellites. Portland, Oregon, at least 4 commercial pilots encountered mysterious lights zipping through the sky above Oregon this past weekend. One pilot flying an air ambulance reported a bright light streaking toward his life flight plane, with it suddenly reversing back toward the Pacific Ocean. Red in color, moving at extreme speeds. I don't even know how to describe how fast it was moving. The pilot told air traffic control. I can't read today. On Sunday night, December 8th, the pilot of a U.S. airline flight described unexpected lights in the sky above the Eugene area. We're seeing 3 or 4 targets. They're all altitudes up and down. It's pretty crazy, the pilot told air traffic controllers, who confirmed there was no military activity in the area. The life flight pilot reported one of the lights was going in circles in a corkscrew pattern and showed up on his aircraft's collision avoidance system. You are clear to maneuver as necessary, a left or right to avoid the UFO out there, an air traffic controller responded in the audio clip posted online. Several brief video clips taken by pilots, I cannot read today, I'm sorry guys, and their crew showed lights in the night sky, although objects are difficult to see because of the dark conditions. It's weird, it's red, circular shape, and it keeps zipping out toward the ocean and then coming back about 20 miles or closer to us. Then it zips back to the ocean, the light flight pilot told air traffic controllers. On Sunday night, 2 Horizon airline pilots also reported seeing mysterious lights, according to an air traffic controller. The flights each continued without further incident. The Federal Aviation Administration acknowledged that a pilot saw unidentified lights, but did not provide further comment. So what could it be? That appears to be Starlink satellites, most likely, explained scientist and researcher Douglas Bootner, who led a study examining a case of 5 pilots who saw several bright moving objects over the Pacific Ocean in 2022. The pilots, flying in 2 commercial aircraft, took photos and videos of unrecognizable objects reported as unidentified aerial phenomenon. Bootner and his colleagues determined the bright lights were flares from numerous Starlink satellites launched by SpaceX to provide broadband internet. Literally all it is, it's the sun that hits the satellite just right. It is being reflected back into your eye, explains Bootner, deputy chief scientist of the Acquisition Innovation Research Center led by the Stevens Institute of Technology. He believes the eye-catching lights spotted by pilots over Oregon were most likely satellite flares, although without better data and clear video, he hasn't ruled out other possibilities. I've had 2 other people look at it and they say it's consistent with Starlink, Bootner explained. In August of 2022, people in Oregon witnessed a string of Starlink satellites moving dramatically across the night sky. Last month, the Pentagon director overseeing unidentified anomalous phenomenon told lawmakers the Defense Department had seen an increase in reported UAP sightings, especially since satellite constellations such as Starlink were launched. We do have one example that I'm aware of where we were able to correlate a number of observations of interesting lights in the sky, and eventually we concluded that it was multiple people observing Starlink flares. John Kalinsky testified at a Senate hearing. And that is it on that one. So I guess the lights weren't UFOs, but again, like I said about the previous articles, people want to believe, so they are automatically going to be like, it is a UFO. I don't blame people for doing that. I mean, I'm probably one of them, but I'm skeptical though, because with me, I'd be like, no, that's not a UFO. But I get it. Lisa Boo goes, this is so creepy and strange. That is dumb, Daniel. I know this is off subject, but Daniel goes, DMV told me today because I'm not 90 days late that they can't help me. I have to go online. I mean, like, what is that? You couldn't just pay while you were there? Like, why do you have to go online? I think that happened to someone else too, that I know. Like, he wanted to talk to someone, but they kept going, oh, that's where you go. Go to the go online or go to the what do you call it? The thing, and go there and pay for your fees. And it's like, what the hell? Are you guys that lazy? Like, I can't pay here? I mean, there's a lot of people that don't like to use machines and would rather pay for people with people. I mean, I don't care. I'm one of those that sometimes I'd rather deal with the machine than the person. It's easier for me, or go online. But there are people out there. I mean, especially if you were there, Daniel, like, what the hell? just to get his tags. Like, Dusty goes, yeah, the coax is where I go. Or I do it online. Like, I pay everything online. If I could do it online, I do it online. Like, that's just the way I am. It's easier for me. I don't have to deal with people. Except when I was trying to renew my driver's license, it kept saying I had to go in. So I was like, okay, if I got to go in, I got to get, I have to wait for my new glasses. So I waited for my new glasses. Then I went back on because I was like, okay, now I got to make an appointment. And then it allowed me to pay. And I was like, what the hell? Like, the last time I went on here, you told me that I had to go in and I had to make an appointment. Now I'm allowed to pay. And I ended up getting my driver's license, my new driver's license in the mail. That makes any sense. Like, Julissa goes, a DMV could be such a headache. It can be. DMV is crazy here in California. Yeah, Daniel's up north. It's the same down south from you, Daniel. Daniel goes, I had also heard that our local DMV was up for fraud and a lot of people got fired. That explains it. Juliet goes, I went to the DMV and tried to change my name since I needed a new ID. My birthday is Saturday, so I had to go in. The lady wouldn't take the time to look at my paperwork, so I'm stuck. What are they paying those people for? You know what I mean? They're there for a job and it's public type of job. So what are they paying them to do? And happy early birthday, Julie. Julissa goes, did you guys watch Zootopia? Remember the sloth in it? I haven't seen that in a while, but I did see that one. It's been a minute. All right, guys, I'm going to give you a few more minutes to look for Skeleduck. I'm pretty sure you found him. He's not that hard this time around. But I'll give you a few more minutes. And I will open it up for questions. Since we're talking about the DMV, we might as well. But I mean, those people get paid decent, I'm guessing. So what are they paying them for? To sit there and tell you, no, I can't help you? I know there's a lot of places that online, like, technology is very important to them. So that's what they kind of like to promote. But still, come on, there's a lot of people that prefer the conventional way of talking to someone. And tomorrow is Friday the 13th. I'm sorry, I get excited when there's a Friday the 13th. Because it's 13 is my lucky number. And I love Friday the 13th. So happy Friday the 13th tomorrow. Heather Salvatore goes, DMV requires every 9 years a new photo. I just took one because I got a because they're pushing the real ID. Like, I think I don't know if it's in other states, but I know in the state of California that, like, eventually that's the only thing they're gonna accept as an identification is the real ID. So I got one. And they took it. I mean, they literally check everything. Like, they want your birth certificate, they want a bill to show that you live where you're at, type of like a utility bill. They want your social, they want everything. They want the color of your eyes, your the blood of your firstborn, stuff like no, I'm just kidding. But that's what it felt like. And I did that recently. So that's why I was like, why do I have to go in? Is that like a new thing? Lisa Boo goes, I saw it on my agenda and I was happy. Heather, whatever goes, my grandpa said it was a lucky day because he was born on one. Dusty goes, our county office takes about 2 to 3 hours wait in the hot sun, so the coax at Safeway is the way to go. Definitely. Definitely. Daniel goes, I still have money from my last payday. I'm going to be rich for a couple of hours. Chris goes, you need them to fly. I got one anyways because if I chose to fly one of these years, I didn't want to not have it and then have to go through the hassle. Because it was like literally, they, like I told you, they really wanted everything. They wanted your birth certificate, your social, your utility bill. They wanted to make sure you were you, like literally. And that's like a big, like, especially if you decide to go on a trip, if you haven't gone on one in a long time, and then they'd be like, oh, you need that, and you have to go through that process. I was like, I'm just gonna get one. Like a yeah, it's kind of like a passport. That Heather Salvatore, that's my favorite song by Bryan Adams, or one of my favorite songs. The summer of '69. That too cuts like a knife. Oh my god. When I was 12, okay, I'll tell you the story because since we're already opening up the discussion. When I was 12, I loved Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. Now that I look at it, I realize Kevin Costner didn't have an English accent and he kind of was out of place in a way. But I loved Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. And then when that song, Everything I Do It For You, became obsessed with Bryan Adams. Like, it was all Bryan Adams. I remember getting all his albums. I still have all his CDs, all his albums. I remember my dad buying me tickets. I was 16 and he bought me tickets because Bryan Adams was at the Greek Theater. If you are from SoCal, you know where the Greek Theater is. Um, it's by Griffith Park in LA. Um, and my dad, oh my god, he bought those tickets. I was in tears. He's like, I'm gonna have to bring some earplugs. But my parents took me and I got to take a friend. Oh my god, it was amazing. I got to see him live. I remember wearing the shirt until it faded from the tour shirt that I got. I think it was the So Far So Good tour, if I'm not mistaken. Remember, oh my god, remember all his songs, like Cut Like a Knife, Run to You, oh, 18 Till I Die. It's because funny when 18 Till I Died came on, I was 18. So I was like, 18 till I die. I was like, oh. Oh my god. I would love to see him again. I would. He's like, I think he's like 59 and he's still rocking. Hell, I think he's older. 65. My bad. He's older. 65 and the man is still rocking. Yeah, he was my first influence to music, was Bryan Adams. That's when I really got into music. And oh my god, I loved the guitar. I love the guitar because of him. And I still do love the guitar because of him. And I wanted to learn how to play the guitar because of him, but that never happened. I know some guitar. I can play some guitar. But that's where, yeah, my love for guitar comes from him. And then my love for music just went from there. Like I'm eclectic. I like everything. I still have the concert ticket stub too. From when I went. That was my first concert. My second concert was I drove down to San Diego here in SoCal. And it was for Everclear and yeah, it was for Everclear. And I remember the opening band was Jimmy's Chicken Shack. And I wasn't into that music at the time. I was all into like Everclear, Jim Blossoms, Bryan Adams, stuff like that at the time. Um Jimmy Chicken Shack was like the harder kind of rock that I ended up getting into later. So when I saw them, I wasn't into them, but like years later, when I got into heavier, like Godsmack, Korn, and Limp Bizkit, I was like, Jimmy's Chicken Shack. I got to see them. They're so cool, and I was like all into them. So it's kind of funny. So that was the second concert I went to. I remember I drove to San Diego to see Everclear because I was like a huge Everclear fan at the time. It's weird. I went from like, Bryan Adams, then I went to like Everclear, Jim Blossoms, um that type of music, Goo Goo Dolls. And then I went into like Korn, Godsmack, Limp Bizkit, Linkin Park, like the harder stuff. It's kind of crazy. Grew up on oldies and country, so like I've always loved oldies and country. Like I like everything, except I'm not a huge fan of hip hop. See, Lisa Boo, I'm the same. EDM to like rock. Not like the death metal. I'm not too much into that. Like the death metal where it's like yeah, I'm not it. No, not that. Or screamo music. I don't know what they called it back then. Dusty goes, my first concert was Elton John at the Seattle Arena on his first tour around 1972. What a show. I'll never forget. That is super cool, Dusty. Heather, whatever goes, greatness. The first I heard of Limp Bizkit was Mission Impossible 2. That was a great track. Mine was Limp Bizkit was the Significant Other album. And that's when I came in and became yeah, it was Significant Other. It was that, oh, I can't think of the song on the top of my head off of that one. But that album was the one where I came in for Limp Bizkit. Julissa goes, that's great. I love all music except heavy metal. Daniel goes, I used to describe those bands as people playing hot air balloons. Like death metal, I guess is what they call it, or screamo music. Because I used to work with a guy, and that's why I think he called it screamo music. And I could hear it because he would work in the back. So, like, when we were in the back, you could listen to music and I could hear it. And it was like, and I was like, what the heck? You can't even understand what the guy is saying. No, I don't need that. Like, there's some weird music out there. There really is. Like, how do you know what they're saying? And then all of a sudden you hear him go, saying, you're like, oh, okay, now I can understand what he's saying. Get in the car! You're like, oh! Daniel goes like the karate movies. You can only understand one English word exactly. Hug goes, I've been into Korn, Limp Bizkit, and Godsmack since the beginning. Seen all so many times. I've even attended Woodstock. Oh, that is super cool, Hugs. I've seen Limp Bizkit, Korn, Godsmack, DMX, Our Lady Peace, Blink 182, because I've been to Warped Tour. So I saw Blink 182, 311. I can't even think of those bands now because I stopped listening to them after a while. Because I went to heavier stuff. It's weird. Lisa Boo goes, black metal is heavy. Daniel Miles goes, Two Live Crew and Slayer are my most favorite. Saw Stained before they got big and they were opening up for Korn. So I got to see Aaron Lewis sing. He has the most amazing voice. I think Aaron Lewis now does country. Wendy Korn goes, I saw 311 in Atlanta. That's super cool. Hugs. I've been backstage for Godsmack a bunch through the decades. I even had seatings in their VIP family section. That's cool. I have, the Godsmack star that's on their album. I think Sully Erna has it tattooed around his belly button, if I'm not mistaken. I have that tattooed on me. The tattoo of the sun of Godsmack. I loved that symbol so much I had to tattoo it to me years ago. I also have, if you guys are familiar with the band Cold, with Scooter as the singer. Oh, amazing. Amazing. I have the spider tattooed to me as well. I have never got to see Cold live though, unfortunately. Daniel goes, Voodoo, my girlfriend's favorite song. It's a cool video too. They're actually performing a ceremony in it, a ritual. My favorite song by them is Awake. Awake and the video. I loved the video for that. I used to watch the video over because I was big on music videos when they had music videos. And I used to watch the music videos over and over again. Julianne goes, I listen to anything but Screamo. Today's R&B and rap except Eminem. Wendy goes, it's a good symbol for Godsmack. It is. Panda Bear, what is up? I grew up listening to Britney Spears and Queen. Daniel, yep, back when MTV used to be music television, exactly. I used to watch MTV, Much Music. Much Music was more of the Canadian kind of bands, but I liked the Canadian bands. I was obsessed. I had a stench of time where I was obsessed with Canadian bands because I'm all about music. So I was always, I even still do that today. I'm always looking for new music. New bands to listen to, new artists to listen to. I've always been like that. So I did a stint where I was into Canadian bands because I was a big, huge fan of Our Lady Peace. So I started looking into different Canadian bands, and then Much Music obviously played their videos and a lot of other videos. And I ended up a fan of like many other bands that weren't really big here. Panda Bear, I'm doing great. And Panda Bear also said I used to watch MTV every morning before going to school. I've seen Our Lady Peace a gazillion times live. Also seen Eve 6. I was a huge Eve 6 fan. They got their inspiration name from an X-Files episode. Where one of the characters was named Eve. It was from season 1. And there was Eve 1, Eve 2, and then there was Eve 6, so they got the name from that, and I always thought that was super cool. Lisa Boo goes, I miss Chris Cornell. I know it's sad. And it's sad of what happened to Chester Bennington as well, because he was amazing. I mean, I thought, the way... I think, who was it? Doof Paranormal made a point one time, because I was like, oh, when we look at someone that's taken their life, we're like, oh, how could they do that? Like, oh... But Doof Paranormal, Karen... I think she calls herself the Karen Show now, but she had made a point, maybe that is the only way that they can find peace. And I started thinking and looking at it differently, but it is sad to think that someone had to do that in order to find peace. And Robin Williams. Robin Williams was amazing too. No way, Hug. Really? Sully is shorter than me. I'm 5'5". It surprised me at how much he smokes too. Yeah. I didn't know he was short though. That's crazy. Daniel Miles has seen Robin Williams live. That is so cool. All right, guys, before I forget, because I know I will forget, Skeleduck, which I know most of you probably found, he is right there. He's sticking out of my Jason backpack. I couldn't think of where to put him, so I just put him there for for the time being because I was in a hurry. But he is right by, and I think my camera moved too, because usually I don't show that much on that side. But he's right there, and my camera did move. He was right there, right where the yeah, right where the backpack is. He's sticking out. Because I think when I started, it was like this, so the camera moved. But that's where he is. He's sticking out of that Jason backpack that you see off screen. Well, I mean, if I move the camera, you'll see it more. He's right there. Oh, the one by the peep. I keep forgetting that he's there. And I got to tell you guys that that's not him. That is his brother that goes to the gym. Skelebuff. I don't know what to name him. Dusty goes, my most recent concert was in Vegas, Reba, and Brooks and oh, that's super cool. My favorite country singer, and may he rest in peace, he did pass away from cancer recently, as Toby Keith. I love Toby Keith. And it's kind of crazy because he just popped in my feed, right? I just out of nowhere. And I'm like, "Oh, isn't this guy I heard that he was, he had cancer and he was battling cancer." So I started looking, and it said he had stomach cancer, and it was kind of weird because that is the cancer my mom had passed away from. So the fact that he popped up in my feed just out of this was before he had passed, out of nowhere. And I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna follow him. He's like my favorite country singer." And then we did lose him. He did lose his battle, unfortunately. But he was one of my favorite country singers. Lego Mike, what is up? Skeleduck getting ready for Friday the 13th. Exactly. I didn't think of that, but yeah, exactly. He is. But all right, guys. Any last minute questions? I know we kind of went through a rabbit hole at the end, but great conversations we had. I like rabbit holes. Julianne goes, I saw Toby Keith before he got big. I got to meet him. That is cool, Julianne. Thank you, Julissa. Thank you, Heather Whatever. Thank you, Lisa Boo. All right, guys, if there's no further questions, thank you, Wendy. I appreciate that. If there's no further questions, guys, I'll see you on the next one. Which will be Tuesday, because I did change my streaming days. Because with work it was kind of getting a tiny bit hectic. So I did change my streaming days to Tuesdays and Thursdays. At 8 p.m. Unfortunately, I have to go on at 8 because of my 9 to 5. But so guys, I will see you on the next one, which will be Tuesday at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I cannot talk. 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Be there, be squared, stay spooky, guys, and sweet nightmares, and have a great rest of your week and weekend. And I will see you on the next one. Thank you, guys. Good night. Have a great weekend.